Our education, defined as the act or process of imparting or acquiring general knowledge, developing the powers of reasoning and judgment, and generally preparing oneself or others intellectually for mature life. That being said, there are three main stages of education: primary, secondary, and tertiary. But one's learning not only is influenced by the level at which they study, but by their gender, social class, and their socio-economic position.
Until the late 1970s, most sociologists paid little attention to gender differences in education. But since then, feminist researchers and teachers have played a significant role in highlighting gender issues in education. Early concerns of gender inequality focused on the underachievement of girls in relation to boys. However, since then, there has been a so-called gender revolution, as girls have begun to outperform boys in areas of mathematics and science. There is now a growing concern over the significant shift in educational achievement of boys relative to girls, and a need to recognize programs that will enhance the performance and participation of both girls and boys.
In the past, it has become apparent that having a low socioeconomic status will put you at a disadvantage compared to the people born into higher class families. This doesn't mean that people born into the working class families are not as intelligent or won't be as successful as the others. It merely shows that they might have less opportunity due to the financial limitations of their families. With Abbott's new budget raising interest on HECS debt by up to 6% and deregulating uni fees from 2016, lower class students will be at an even greater disadvantage. Whilst higher class students usually have their uni fees paid for them by their family, the working class will be left in great debt if they wish to pursue a university education.
Socioeconomic status can be defined as the distinguishing of a person's position in society through a measurement of their occupation, income, and education. Generally, those of higher socioeconomic status will have an advantage in society when it comes to accessing resources. With most being financially secured, access to education is obviously not an issue. Therefore, children coming from these backgrounds will have a more reassuring future and are less likely to face issues such as unemployment and social interaction difficulties. Education is crucial towards social development and improving learning ability. The Education Act of 1990 outlines fundamental principles concerning the current education system and the quality of education provided by public schooling. Students are expected to learn how to read, write, and spell at an adequate level by the time they finish primary school. This, however, may be a difficult task to complete for some children who come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. Generally, children who come from these backgrounds may experience learning difficulties as they may lack the proper parental guidance and support at a young age. Therefore, develop these skills at a slower rate than in comparison to students of higher socioeconomic background. An obvious issue which can be witnessed in many families of low socioeconomic background is the financial difficulties. Most are living off the support of Centrelink funds, therefore it is understandable that children who come from these backgrounds value getting employed after primary or secondary schooling greater than continuing to tertiary education and following a career path. Recently, having funding for education cut and the deregulation of universities will not only mean that students have to pay more for their education, but eventually lead to only higher socioeconomic status students being able to afford tertiary education. Consequently, this contributes to the enlarging of the gap between the wealthy and the poor. In response to these changes, students began to rally on campus, and on the 21st of May, students from a variety of universities took to the streets of the CBD to voice their anger on the news that it would ultimately affect the future of those from disadvantaged families.